Croys up hopes that the game's under £20 PSN sale. Don't worry if you don't have PS Plus, it's not biased like the other sale. Just like this channel, I don't care if you've got PS Plus or not, I find good deals for everyone. I'm just limited by what they have for me to choose from. So hit that subscribe button, and then you'll never miss a good deal again, and find some really cool games to play along the way. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 1st of March, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up, we have Ash of Gods Redemption. It was released in 2020, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a crazy low price for such a good looking game.
This is a turn-based strategy game where the Reapers have returned and are planning to drown the world in blood to awaken the slumbering gods. You play as 3 heroes destined to face this enemy. It features an ever-changing story based on your choices and tactics, and a really cool art style with beautiful graphics. There's not a lot of turn-based strategy games around, and this looks like a really cool one I've never heard of before, with a really cool replayable story with multiple endings and choices, and all in all it just looks like a pretty decent game. So if you're missing out on a bit of turn-based strategy, you might just want to check this one out.
Next up we have an FPS trilogy, the BioShock Collection. It was released in 2016, so it's 8 years old, although some of the games are older than that really, and they're on an 80% discount for the price of £8.99, which is really good, especially for 3 AAA games, as this includes all 3 BioShock games, remastered with all of the DLC included. So again, the best versions of the game, with all of the content included. You can't ask for much more, especially for a legendary trilogy like this. It's a really good deal.
All 3 games are first-person shooters, and in the first 2 games you get to explore the underwater derelict city of Rapture, and then in the 3rd game you get to explore the sky city of Columbia. With the first game being a modern classic and the other 2 being high-quality AAA games, you really are getting really good value for your money with this bundle. Why not check it out?
We have a third-person action horror next, Call of Cthulhu. It was released in 2021, so it's 2 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal.
In this third-person action horror game, which is set in the 1920s, you play a PI who investigates the death of the Hawkins family on the isolated island of Dark Water, where you get to explore a terrifying world of conspiracies, cultists, and cosmic horrors. Anyone who's familiar with Cthulhu will know what they're getting into here, but it's basically a supernatural investigation game. So if you're a fan of investigating stuff, and you don't mind a bit of horror stroke supernatural stuff going on, you'll probably really enjoy this game. And if you've never played this sort of game before, then it's a pretty decent one, from a cool mythology that a lot of people love. So if you're okay with the horror aspect, why not take a chance? You might just love it.
We have a fighter next, Gundam Versus. It was released in 2017, so it's 6 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the low price of £3.19, which is pretty good. This game features mobile suits from across the series' history, where you get to battle it out in 2v2 fast-paced Gundam action, and it also includes online 6-player multiplayer, although I don't know if that's active anymore. As far as fighters go, there's a load of huge franchises, and the rest kind of don't get to compete much. But hey, if you're a fan of Gundam, you might really like this series. It may not be from a series that has a big history like some of the others, but it's been around a while, and it's pretty successful for what it is. That might be because of the Gundam license, who knows? But hey, if you like Gundam, take a look at it. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it. And hey, if you've never played a fighting game before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting with this one. If you're not a fan of Gundam, I would say don't bother. But if you are a fan of Gundam, you might be interested, so why not take a look? Otherwise, there's plenty more fighters for you to choose from, especially the AAA franchises, and you can get them cheaper than this as well sometimes, so you're better off starting with them instead, if you're not a fan of Gundam. So why not subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they go on sale next. Our next game is Hard West Ultimate Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.59, which is really good. Now I'm not sure if it includes any DLC. I've looked everywhere and I can't find what makes it the Ultimate Edition, but I'm assuming because it is the Ultimate Edition, you get something thrown in, whether it's DLC or just a better version of the game. I'm not sure, because they don't seem to want to tell you why. But hey, it's the Ultimate Edition. Don't complain about it, alright?
In any case, in this turn-based strategy game, tragedy sends a man down a supernatural path, where he must hunt down all those who wronged him and get his revenge. It features 8 story scenarios, 40 fights, and multiple endings based on your decisions in the game. This may not be a AAA game, but it looks like a really decent one, so if you're a fan of turn-based strategy games, you should definitely check this out. It looks like a decent game at a really great price. And hey, if you've never played a turn-based strategy game before, at this price, you might want to take a look at it. It may not be the best one ever made, but it's at a fantastic discount, so you're not risking a lot of money to take a chance on it. You might even enjoy yourself and find yourself your new favourite game genre, so why not take a look?
The next game looks amazing, Hunt Down. It was released in 2020, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal for such a really cool looking game.
This is a run and gun game set in a future ruled by gangs, where the cops fear to tread, and only the bounty hunters can lay waste to the criminal underworld and save the city. It features local co-op, a cover system, a synth soundtrack, and a cool sense of humour as well. This game reminds me so much of the Super Nintendo Contra, or Probotector as it was known here, that it's unreal. It brings back so many cool memories of playing that as a kid, and it just looks like an awesome improvement on the series, it really does. It's got a cool sense of humour, awesome graphics, really cool gameplay mechanics. It's pretty much all you can ask for. If you love this genre, you should definitely check out this game. It looks amazing, and my gut feeling says it's one of the best games I haven't played. So if you love run and gun games, the old Contra games especially, then definitely check this out. You'll be doing yourself a favour, and you'll thank me for it afterwards. And hey, if you haven't played a run and gun game before, this looks like the best place to start. It's based on an amazing franchise, it's got amazing graphics, a cool sense of humour, and it looks like really good, awesome gameplay. You can't go far wrong with this. If you're interested at all, definitely take a look at it. You can't go far wrong.
Next up is my star by Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 3 years old, although the original game is much older than that really, and it's on an 85% discount for the low price of £3.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a phenomenal deal for a game of this quality, as this edition includes all of the DLCs, and is remastered in full HD as well. So not only do you get the complete version of the game, but the best version as well, which is really cool.
This open-world third-person shooter is set in 1940s New York, where you get to live the life of a gangster as you become entangled with the mob to pay your father's debts. And with your budgie Joe, you must work to prove yourself, climbing the family ladder for rewards, status, and consequences. Mafia 1 and 2 were huge back in the day. I mean, they're basically GTA Mafia, and they got a reputation for a reason. They were really good games then, and they're really good games now. So having them with all of the DLC included, and them being remastered, is a pretty good proposition. So if you've always wanted to join the Mafia, this might just be your chance.
Next up, we have an RPG, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered. It was released in 2019, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £5.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it for non-PS Plus members, and it's a pretty decent price, although the game's a bit older than that really.
In this RPG, you get to join Oliver on an adventure in a world full of ferocious enemies and new friends, hoping to bring back his mother while fighting the forces of evil. It features collectible monster battling, graphics by Studio Ghibli, and sound by Joe Hisashi, so the production value is AAA to the max here. The graphics in this game are beautiful. It looks like you're playing a Studio Ghibli movie. They're that good. And the battling system is basically a Pokemon Dragon Warrior Monsters sort of system, so if you like those games, that'll be a great bonus for you here. Mixing those sorts of combat systems into a proper RPG, well, that's a good idea, and it makes this game really unique and really cool. This game is amazing, highly recommended for fans of RPGs, and for fans of Pokemon and Dragon Warrior Monster games as well. If you like any of what I've said, definitely take a look at it. It'll be well worth your time, I promise. And hey, if you've never played an RPG before, this is a really good quality one, and it would be a really good place to start. But you can get some others that are cheaper, so if you're not sure, you might be able to pick up a better deal if you take a look around. So it's up to you really. You've got plenty of options in this genre.
Panzer Dragoon Remake is our next game. It was released in 2020, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal. This shooter is set on an ancient planet where two dragons awaken. You take off on an armoured blue dragon armed with a deadly gun from the past to chase down the prototype dragon and stop it reaching the tower or die trying. Yeah, so there's not much story, but hey, it's a remake of an old game where story didn't really matter too much. It was all about gameplay, and this one's pretty decent. If you like shooter games, like Star Fox or Strider, then this is right up your alley, and you'll probably know this from the old school game anyway. In any case, it's a pretty decent game. It's niche, but if it's for you, you'll really enjoy it. And if you've never played it before, you might like it. Just check it out first, as there is a pretty niche genre. We have an action platformer next, Rayman Legends. It was released in 2014, so it's 9 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is pretty good.
In this action platformer, after a 100-year nap, the Glade of Dreams has been overrun with terrifying monsters. As Rayman, you gather your friends to help fight the monsters to save the Teen Seas, and it features local 4-player co-op, which makes it absolutely awesome for people that love having gaming sessions at their house. This game is basically a rip-off of the Wii Super Mario Bros. Series, where you had all 4 players on screen at once, and you ran from left to right completing levels together in chaotic fun, which is amazing because those games are great, and so is this. I don't understand why more games haven't copied that format, because it's great fun, and it's a shame to only have one game to play outside of the Nintendo consoles. In any case, it's great. If you have regular gaming parties at your house, or you got a kid or two that you like playing games with, you should definitely check out this game. And if you've never played one of these games before, then only pick it up if you have friends over to play games regularly, because there's no online multiplayer, which makes it a lot more boring to play on your own without friends. So keep that in mind when you check it out. Up next is a VR shooter, Shooty Fruity. It was released in 2018, so it's 5 years old, and it's on at least a 60% discount for the price of £6.39 or £4.79 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal, especially for a VR game. In this VR shooting gallery, where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it, you work as a cashier in a range of locations, while also fighting off hordes of genetically modified fruit, with guns, explosives and power-ups. It features challenges to complete in the different locations for extra replayability, which is really cool. These sorts of VR games are often really fun, but don't offer a lot of replayability, so it's nice to see that they're trying by offering a series of challenges for you to complete, which is really cool. I don't usually recommend these sorts of games for VR in general, because I think you can be a bit more imaginative and have much better experiences in games in VR than this. But when they're done right, they're a ton of fun, and they're easy for everyone to play. You don't get motion sick. And for friends, family, kids, it's great for them to have a go at a game like this, because it's really easy to understand, and it's a lot of fun as well. So if you like the look of this game, or you want it for showing your friends or parties and that sort of thing, then why not take a look? It looks like a really cool game, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it. And hey, if you haven't played a VR shooting gallery game before, then this is a really good one, and it's at a pretty decent price right now as well, so it's worth taking a look at. If you like the theme of it as much as I do, and you can see the fun behind it, then I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. If you like the sound of it, definitely take a look at it. I think you'll have a lot of fun. I really enjoy this game, The Deadly Tower of Monsters. It was released in 2016, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the low price of £1.79, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal for a really good game. This Metroidvania game is themed after a classic B-movie, as you play as actors, playing heroes, battling their way up through a tower of deadly monsters, with the director providing funny commentary along the way. This is a really unique and awesome game. If you ever like the old sci-fi shows, like Flash Gordon, or any of the other black and white stuff, you'll get a lot of fun out of this. It's very funny, it's very cool, and it's a great game. I had this for 3 years ago on PS Plus, and I loved it. It was a really great game with a really cool theme. So if you like Metroidvania games, and you're a fan of old B-movies, you'll really enjoy this game. I would definitely say check it out. And hey, if you've never played a Metroidvania game before, then this is a really good one. But if you're not a fan of B-movies, or that sort of a theme or era, then I would say start with a different game instead, because there's a lot of good Metroidvanias around. So if you don't like this theme, why not pick up a different one instead? Our next game is Transistor. It was released in 2014, so it's 9 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.99, which is really great for such an amazingly cool game. This is an action RPG made by the same team as Bastion, where you play as Red, a famous singer from the city of Cloudbank, who has been attacked by the robotic force called Process, and during her escape she finds the weapon named Transistor, infused with the consciousness of the last man it killed, along with Red's own stolen voice. And now you're on the run, trying to fight back against the robotic forces without a voice, and the sword being the only thing that can talk for you. I completed this game ages ago, and I absolutely loved it. The art style is beautiful, it's unbelievably great to look at, and the voiceover is pure perfection. It's such an experience to play this game, it's great. Without playing it, it's hard to describe what it's like. It's just AAA quality, and that's the best way I can put it. If you like action RPGs, you should definitely check this out. It's a great game with an amazing aesthetic and an interesting story as well. And if you've never played one before, it's a great game at an awesome price and it's worth checking out. You might just find your new favourite genre.
And the final game I have for you is the XCOM 2 collection. It was released in 2018, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £7.49, which is an amazing price with a massive discount. You're getting a huge amount for their money, and it even includes the War of the Chosen expansion and 4 DLC packs as well, so you're getting the complete version of the game with a huge amount of content for a ridiculously low price. It's an amazing deal.
In this turn-based strategy game, it's set in a world under alien rule, where against impossible odds, you must rebuild XCOM and ignite a global resistance to reclaim our world and save humanity. It features 5 character classes, research and upgrades, plus 2-player online multiplayer as well. If you're a fan of turn-based strategy games, this is basically the best franchise around these days. So if you haven't played this one, what are you doing? Take a look at it, it's awesome, you'll love it, and the first one as well if you didn't play that one. And hey, if you've never played one of these sorts of games before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend it, because it's a pretty big bundle, so if you don't like it, you've bought a lot of game that you're not going to play. So I'd take a look around instead. There are some smaller franchises that go on sale way cheaper than this, and you're better off starting there. So subscribe if you don't want to miss those when they come on sale.
And that's all the games I have for the games under £20 PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? What about the Star Buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Well, leave all your complaints down in the comments and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, but more importantly I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.